You know that feeling? You're at a family dinner, a wedding, or just scrolling through your feed, and the question, spoken or otherwise, hangs in the air. Still single? Or maybe it's that subtle internal nudge, that tiny voice wondering if you're somehow off script. What if I told you that the very discomfort or pressure sometimes associated with being single is a carefully constructed societal narrative? A story spun over centuries, with profound psychological consequences, designed to keep us marching to a very specific beat. And what if understanding that story, its architects and its motivations, could fundamentally change how we view ourselves and our choices today? For much of history, particularly in the West, societal structures found immense value in the predictable, controllable unit of the couple. Think about it. In agrarian societies, and later industrial ones, marriage was often an economic and social contract. Historian Stephanie Kuntz, in Marriage: A History, highlights how, for centuries, love was rarely the primary driver. It was about alliances, labor, property, and clear lines of inheritance. Single individuals, especially women, could be seen as an economic burden or a social loose end. The Victorian spinster, for example, wasn't just unmarried. She was often caricatured, pitied, or even subtly villainized in literature and popular thought. This wasn't accidental. It was the slow, steady application of what psychologists call stigma and conformity pressure. If society deems something normal, like being partnered, then deviation can, almost by definition, become abnormal, even threatening. I remember attending a friend's very traditional engagement party a few years ago, and as the only unpartnered person in my immediate circle there, I felt this bizarre, almost antique sense of being out of place, like a historical artifact myself. It was only later, delving into this, that I realized that feeling wasn't just my awkwardness. It was the echo of centuries of social engineering. These weren't just abstract ideas. They had teeth. Laws often disadvantage single people, particularly women, regarding property and autonomy. The psychological impact? A deep-seated stereotype threat, where individuals might internalize these negative societal views, impacting their self-worth and choices. This historical baggage is heavy, and it seeps into our modern lives in ways we might not even consciously recognize. Think about a time you felt societal pressure, overt or subtle, regarding your relationship status. How much of that do you think was genuine concern from others versus an echo of these centuries-old societal scripts we've just explored? I'd be fascinated to hear your reflections in the comments below. So, where does that leave us today, with singleness on the rise globally? Are we witnessing a true revolution in how we live and love, or is it, in some ways, a return? Historically, before the intense societal focus on the romantic dyad as the only acceptable adult state, many cultures had more varied roles for unpartnered individuals. The respected elder, the dedicated artisan, the spiritual guide, whose singleness might have even been integral to their communal contribution. Perhaps we're seeing a modern echo of that, a diversification of valued life paths. But what feels undeniably revolutionary is the emphasis on individual agency and self-actualization. As psychologist Bella DePaulo, a prominent researcher on singlehood, points out, many singles today aren't lacking something. They're actively choosing and crafting lives rich in connection, purpose, and fulfillment, often outside traditional romantic paradigms. This reflects a shift in our locus of control, the belief that we can shape our own destinies, rather than being solely defined by external expectations. We're moving from singleness as a passive state of not yet married to an active, the potentially chosen identity. So, the psychology of being single today is this fascinating tapestry woven from historical threads and modern aspirations. It's about understanding that those lingering societal pressures, those internalized shoulds, often aren't about you personally, but are remnants of an old script designed for a different world with different priorities. Recognizing this script is the first step to rewriting it. It's about giving ourselves permission to define fulfillment on our own terms, whether that involves a partner or not. Understanding that a complete life isn't a one-size-fits-all prescription, but a deeply personal creation. And that, perhaps, is the most empowering psychology of all. If you like this dive into human psychology through history, please please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thanks for watching Historic Psychology, and I'll see you on the next one.